Okay, welcome. This evening we have a special guided meditation. This is a little bit different from what we usually do. And I say that because we're going to invoke some of the divinities from the Hindu tradition. We're going to be invoking Lord Shiva and the goddess Ganga, the goddess of the Ganges River. Now, there actually is some precedence for invoking Lord Shiva in Soto Zen. In fact, many people don't know this, but one of the chants that we do, called the Great Compassionate Mind Dharani, is actually it's actually about Lord Shiva. But because it hasn't been translated into English, we don't realize it. But there's references to what's called the blue-necked one. So Lord Shiva is known for many things. There's a lot of different stories about him, one having to do with the blue neck. We're not going to go into that one. But there's another story I'd like to share about Lord Shiva and the goddess of the Ganges River. Ganga is her name. And the Ganges River, of course, has a place within Buddhism as well. The Buddha grew up near the Ganges River. So it's a spiritual center for Hinduism and Buddhism, and I would suspect Sikhism as well, maybe to a lesser extent, as well as the Himalayas, or the Himalayas, depending on how you like to pronounce it. But this mountain range just in the northern part of India, and the Buddha is said to have lived and just at the foot of those Himalaya mountains. So I want to show you this image, and the image comes from a book that's recently been put out. It's not more than a year old, but it's called The Stories Behind the Poses, and it's by Dr. Raj Balkaran. And I want to show you the image of this particular pose that's in here. They're just wonderful, gorgeous images. And you're welcome at this point to, you can sit in Zazen, sit in meditation and listen to the story. Let me show you the image that comes from this book. Here it is. So we have Lord Shiva standing. And this pose is called Tadasana, or mountain pose. And there is or I shouldn't say lady, but Ganga, the goddess of the Ganges River. And just to notice how Lord Shiva is standing, and notice where the goddess of the Ganges is at this point in the image. And know that this particular yogic pose is called mountain pose. This is called mountain pose, and there's a reason for that, as you will come to see as I share this story with you. So this story that I'm reading is coming directly from Dr. Raj Balkaran's book. I got to hear him speak in a Yoga Alliance training that I did about a year ago, and I was so compelled by it that I purchased the book. Here's the story. So you could do this meditation standing if you want, just like Lord Shiva is here. You could do this standing, or you could do it sitting. Either way is fine. Eons ago, there was a great drought upon the earth. Water is the essence of life. Drought brings death and destruction. And so the creatures were parched. The plant life was wilted, and the humans were miserable. Concerned for the suffering creatures of the globe, the earth goddess, Prithvi, cried out to the heavens, Lord Vishnu, the sustainer and keeper of the world, heard her cry and immediately set out to find a solution. Uncertain as to the course of action to be taken, Vishnu set out to the abode of Brahma, creator of the universe, who would surely know what to do. Upon arrival, a booming voice proclaimed, "Welcome, Lord Vishnu." Before him, upon his celestial lotus, sat Lord Brahma himself, shining, wizened, with silky gray hair falling from all four of his heads. "I've been expecting you," said Lord Brahma. Lord Vishnu bowed reverently and proceeded without delay to convey the dire state of things, beseeching him, "We must not let the earth realm perish. It is there that all beings work out their karmas. We must do something, but I do not know what. Surely you have something in mind, Grandfather, having created Earth and the cosmos?" "Well, it seems to me that in times of drought," Brahma calmly responded, variously stroking his four beards, "the solution can only be one thing: water." "But, Lord Brahma, there is no water to be found on earth." "Well then, you had better divert some water from elsewhere, hadn't you?" "Elsewhere?" responded Vishnu, perplexed and becoming increasingly exasperated. "There are many realms and many sorts of beings in this glorious creation of mine. Go seek out the great celestial river, Ganga, and ask her to descend to the earth. She should serve as the solution to all of your problems." With that, Brahma returned to his meditation and Vishnu left to seek the realm of Ganga. Vishnu came to the impressive abode of Ganga and was received by her. But upon being presented with Brahma's plan, Ganga laughed haughtily and replied, "Earth? Down there? You expect me to vacate the heavens and descend to such realms? Even if I desired to descend, my power is too great. My descent would crack the face of the dried and brittle earth in two. No, this will never do." Dejected, Vishnu took leave of Ganga and returned to Brahma. "Back so soon, Lord Vishnu?" said Brahma. Vishnu explained his situation and begged again for Brahma to help. Brahma scratched his celestial heads and muttered aloud, "The great Ganga may indeed break the earth. Yes, Then, stirring from his pensiveness, he looked up at Vishnu and said, "I do not yet know the answer to this dilemma, but my intuition tells me that you must seek out the mighty Shiva. He will know how to proceed." Vishnu thanked Grandfather Brahma and set out with haste for the abode of Shiva. Vishnu arrived upon the very heights of the earth plane in the Himalayan mountains, into the powerful meditative presence of the great yogi Shiva, clothed in animal skin, his body coated with sacred ash. Shiva graciously interrupted his cosmic trance and half opened his celestial eyes, sensing Vishnu's arrival. "Praise be to Shiva, Lord of Yogis," proclaimed Vishnu, bowing. "Hail, Vishnu, protector of the earth," replied Vishnu, returning his reverence. The ever-watchful third eye of Shiva had witnessed Vishnu's plight unfolding and, needing no explanation, he spoke. Return to Ganga and inform her that I request her presence here in my Himalayan abode. Tell her that I await her descent. I will take care of the rest. And returned to his meditation. Fully trusting that Shiva would handle the situation, Vishnu respectfully took leave of the Lord and returned to the abode of Ganga to deliver Shiva's message. Lord Shiva has asked me to descend, asked Ganga, astonished. Surely I cannot refuse the destroyer. She mused aloud. But what of the earth? How will she bear my might? Still, if Shiva says, descend, then I shall, and leave it to you to piece together her remains. Prideful as ever, but wise enough to comply with the request of Shiva himself, Ganga flung herself down from the heavens downwards to the earthly plane, flowing directly toward the abode of Shiva, certain, though she was, that she would crack the earth in two. Now, I'm just going to pause here for a moment in the story to say, this is a wonderful time to really enter into the body of Lord Shiva and to enter into the body of Ganga. Shiva positioned himself so as to receive the turbulent might of Ganga upon his own head. Thus, as she descended, the celestial river found herself slowed, calmed, and grounded by the yogic presence of the Lord. She found herself slowed, calmed, and grounded by the yogic presence of the Lord. Time slowed down as though all space were converging upon his head. Time slowed down as though all space was converging upon his head. In his intoxicating presence, Ganga experienced herself as no more than a single drop of dew amid his matted locks. Ganga experienced herself as no more than a single drop of dew amid his matted locks. She lingered for an eternal moment in his expansiveness before, inebriated, she slid down his body. She lingered for an eternal moment in his expansiveness before, inebriated, she slid down his body. She lingered for an eternal moment in his expansiveness before, inebriated, she slid down his body, paying homage and loving respect to his feet before continuing down to the Himalayas to hydrate and bless the earth. Before continuing down the Himalayas to hydrate and bless the earth, paying homage and loving respect to his feet, pacified by the grounding power of Shiva. The Ganges descended to earth where she nourishes and purifies countless souls to this day, all by the grounding grace of Shiva. Let's take a few moments in silence to contemplate this story, maybe imagining ourselves as the Ganges River descending upon Lord Shiva and experiencing that expansiveness, feeling inebriated in the yogi's presence, sliding down his body, offering reverence to his feet.